Cheers. Today, I want to talk about Trump and the Epstein files. And there's a connection that I'm not hearing anybody else talking about. And I think it needs to be addressed because there seems to be a whole lot of release the files are a hoax, blah, blah, blah. And I want to take a ride with me. I want you to take a ride with me.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip.
And follow me through some little dots that I'm seeing here. So, our journey starts back in, the election was 2016. Trump takes office in 2017. Epstein goes to jail in 2019, or when he dies in 2019. And before his first term, one of the things he was running on was, the liberal elites and the cabal, and that's when QAnon was going full steam ahead, and the Trump cult has been birthed.
At last I see the light, and it's like the fog is lifted.
So he's riding that wave, and then in 2020, Maxwell goes into prison, and the stuff about releasing the files kind of just drops off, and you don't hear much about it after that. And it makes sense because the investigation is still ongoing. I imagine there's still a lot of files to be sifted through, a lot of material according to the stories. So then in 2020, he loses his re-election. And we all remember January 2021, January 6th. That's the beginning of the end for Trump. And, he's screaming about, the election was rigged and blah, blah, blah. And he's got a whole lot of chaos going around because he's dementia Don. And he's been fighting that dementia for a number of years now, and it's starting to catch up.
I don't remember ever buying something for myself.
Do you recall what years you were married to Ms. Maples?
So that's also when we start to see these pictures come out. They didn't come out till later, but the pictures come out of boxes and boxes of files leaving the White House, and boxes of files being loaded into the airplanes. And he's talking about, the election was stolen, and I'm going to take it back. The liberal cabal. He's back on that train. Liberal cabal. And the Trump cult, the Trump train is singing the same song. The liberal cabal. It's all the liberal elites. Until in 2022, in August, the FBI raided Mar-A-Lago. And that's when we found out about those files that were hidden in Mar-A-Lago. I know we all saw the pictures of boxes in the bathrooms and in the shower, and they said there was more in the storage cabinets and what have you. And it's interesting that not too much after that, Trump spins a new tune, and he says, "Oh well, it's a Democrat hoax, and Obama created the Epstein files." And then you have the MAGA cult saying, well, if the files were in office, then, why didn't Biden release them? Well, the same reason that Trump didn't release them in his first term. Ongoing investigation. Now, I know, you're also saying, dude, come on. Weren't those files a bunch of military secrets, and he was selling secrets to other governments? He was selling them to Russia. He was selling them to the Saudis. That's why the Saudis gave him all that money. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have the proof. Maybe it was just military secrets. I don't know. He said he could declassify them just with a thought, but maybe it's just military secrets. Maybe it's both. I don't have all the answers, but we're still going on this journey. All of us, the whole world's going on this journey together, and we got this new chapter that comes after that. He gets reelected. And as the election is coming, he does some interviews where the Epstein files come up, and would you release them? And he's like, yeah, I'd consider releasing them. Yeah, I don't think about it. And, there's a little twist with those boxes. Those Mar-A-Lago boxes keep coming back. If you look it up, back in February, he took office in January. in 2025, and in February, loading up the boxes again. Andrews Air Force Base, more boxes of files going back to Mar-A-Lago. You know what? We've gone full circle. He's taken the boxes again, and he's going back to Mar-A-Lago, and he wants to release the files in the Democrat cabal and blah, blah, blah. Until May of 2025. That's when we have this new revelation that Pam Bondi, according to reports, told Trump that he's still in the unreleased files. Oh God, Dementia Dawn didn't think it through that the FBI has backups.
I mean, I don't remember that. Okay, as good as my memory is, I don't remember that. But I have a good.
So you don't remember saying you have one of the best memories?
I don't remember.
Oh, of course, I mean, he's got the bruise on the back of his hand because of handshaking and blah, blah, blah. Ain't nobody that weak that they're getting bruises on their hands from handshaking. Either he's the weakest president in the history, which his doctors say he's super healthy, or that's from the IVs for his dementia treatment for his Alzheimer's. I don't know. I don't have any evidence. I don't know. These are just theories. But in May of 2025 is supposedly when Bondi told Trump that he was in the unreleased files. And then in July, he goes back to, oh, it's a Democrat hoax. Obama created it. And there were no Epstein files. And then we got all these releases of the files. It's just going round and round and round. And now we just have this week, more files released, and it's more chaos. Is his dementia contagious? What is going on? They over-redacted stuff. They under-redacted stuff. They released faces of the victims. I mean...
Do you know who was?
I cannot recall any specific names, but if you look through our records...
Your records are either deleted, omitted, or missing. As head of the detention program at that time...
Before you go any further, let me remind you, Inspector, things were very chaotic back then.
Is his dementia contagious? What's going on? Anyway, I don't know. At the end, I want to remind everybody that we are united on some things, and the media wants the Republicans to think that the liberals are all libtards and that the conservatives are all fascists. And yeah, there's some pretty fascist Nazi stuff going on in the streets of Minneapolis. There's a lot of fascism coming out of the right wing, but it's not all that. And there's some dumb things coming out of the left. I'm on the left, but there's not everything that comes out is golden, but common ground on releasing the files and protecting the kids. There's a lot more common ground than we have than that, but unfortunately on the right, we got Marjorie Taylor Greene's got a spine all of a sudden, and Lauren Boebert's got a spine, but most of the other right wing, they kind of got no spine. I don't know, and the libs too. They don't seem to have a spine to call fascism when they see it. They don't have a spine to stand up to Trump, and we should primary all of them. Primary the Republicans and the Democrats. Primary them all. Just get rid of all those legacy old timers. Get some people in there with some spines. But anyway, I digress. My point is we do have common ground, and united we shall stand. Divided we shall fall. So let's stand and remind ourselves that we can be united. Thanks, and I love you. And cheers.